Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Better English Studio. I'm your host, Tom, and I'm really glad you're here today. Whether you're walking to work, relaxing at home, or studying English with us, thank you for spending this time improving your English skills. Today's topic is something I know many of you will love because it's powerful, simple, and surprisingly effective. We're talking about the shadowing technique, one of the best ways to speak English like a native speaker fast. And of course, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and English expert, Mia. Hi, Mia.
Hi, Tom. Hello, everyone. It's great to be back. I'm really excited about today's episode because shadowing completely changed the way I learned languages. It's not just a study trick. It's a fun, active way to make your English sound smooth and natural.
Exactly. A lot of learners focus on grammar and vocabulary, which is important, but when it comes to speaking fluently, to sounding confident and natural, shadowing is the secret tool that can take your English to the next level.
So, Tom, let's start from the basics. What exactly is shadowing?
Good question. The shadowing technique means listening to native English speech and speaking along with it at the same time. It's like being a shadow of the speaker. You follow their speech immediately, copying their pronunciation, rhythm, and tone.
Right. It's different from just repeating after someone. In normal repetition, you listen first and then repeat. But in shadowing, you don't wait. You speak with the speaker, like an echo.
Exactly. It's an active listening and speaking exercise at the same time. It trains your mouth, brain, and ears to work together, like a workout for your English fluency.
I love that, a fluency workout, because it really is training. You're not just memorizing words, you're learning the music of English, the stress, the rhythm, the pauses, the flow.
Yes, and that's what makes you sound more natural. Not only the words you use, but how you say them. Let's talk about why shadowing works so well. Why does this technique help people speak more fluently, Mia?
There are a few reasons. First, it helps you develop automatic speech patterns. When you shadow, your brain gets used to thinking and speaking in English without translating from your native language.
That's a key point. Many learners struggle because they think in their own language and then translate to English. Shadowing helps break that habit.
Exactly. Second, it improves pronunciation and intonation. When you copy a native speaker in real time, you're training your mouth to produce the same sounds and rhythm they use. Over time, you start sounding more natural, less like you're reading and more like you're communicating.
That's such an important skill. You start catching the small things that make English sound alive, like the linking sounds like gonna for going to, or how we blend words like wanna, didya, and gotta.
Yes, and the third reason it works is confidence. When you shadow regularly, you stop being afraid of making mistakes. You speak more freely because your mouth and mind are already familiar with English patterns.
It's almost like muscle memory. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Okay, so now that everyone understands what shadowing is and why it's powerful, let's explain how to do it step by step.
Good idea. Step 1. Choose the right audio. You can shadow anything, podcasts, YouTube videos, TV shows, or even movie dialogues. But it's best to start with clear, natural speech.
Absolutely. For beginners, choose something a bit slower, like educational podcasts or English learning channels. For intermediate learners, you can try TED Talks or TV series with subtitles.
And step 2, listen first. Don't start shadowing immediately. Listen to the clip once or twice to understand the context, pronunciation, and emotion behind the words.
That's key. Because shadowing isn't about repeating sounds like a robot. You need to understand the meaning and emotion to copy the feeling of English.
Exactly. Step 3, start shadowing short clips, maybe 10 to 20 seconds at a time. Play the clip and speak along with the speaker as closely as you can.
And don't worry if you can't keep up at first. It's totally normal to miss a few words or sound messy. The goal is flow, not perfection.
That's right. Step 4, record yourself. Many learners skip this, but it's so helpful. When you listen to your own voice and compare it to the original, you'll notice what needs improvement. Maybe your intonation, maybe your speed, maybe how you stress certain words.
Good point. Recording makes your progress visible, or rather audible.
And step 5, repeat regularly. Shadowing works best when you practice every day, even for 10 minutes. Consistency is the secret to real fluency.
Let's talk about what learners should pay attention to while shadowing. Because it's not just about words, it's about sound and movement.
Exactly. When you shadow, focus on intonation, how the speaker's voice goes up and down. English has a musical quality. For example, we raise our tone when asking questions like, "How are you?" and lower it when finishing statements like, "I'm fine."
Right. Also pay attention to word stress. English is a stress-timed language, meaning some words are emphasized while others are softer. If you shadow correctly, you'll naturally pick up this rhythm.
Another thing is connected speech, how native speakers link words together. For example, next door sounds like next door, or want to becomes wanna. Shadowing helps you get used to these real patterns of spoken English.
That's what makes your English sound fluent, when you stop speaking word by word and start flowing naturally. Now, Mia, I think we should also talk about common mistakes learners make when they first try shadowing.
Definitely. One big mistake is choosing material that's too hard. If you start with something fast, like a movie scene or a stand-up comedy clip, it can be frustrating. Begin with something you can actually follow.
Yes, like a podcast where the speakers talk clearly, such as Better English Studio.
Haha, exactly. Another mistake is trying to copy every single word perfectly right away. It's okay if you miss words. Focus on rhythm and flow first. Accuracy comes later.
I'd also say, don't forget to breathe. Many learners try so hard to match the speed that they forget to breathe properly, which makes them sound tense.
That's true. Shadowing should feel like a natural conversation, not a race. And remember, don't just shadow once. Repeat the same audio many times until it feels smooth and effortless.
That's the secret, repetition. Native-like fluency doesn't come from new material every day, but from mastering one piece deeply.
We've covered the basics, what shadowing is, how it works, and how to start. In the next part, we'll talk about advanced shadowing, including how to use it for accent reduction, vocabulary expansion, and even thinking in English naturally.
Yes, and we'll also share some personal stories, how shadowing helped us and our students sound more confident.
Hey everyone! If you've been following along, we've already talked about what shadowing is, how to start, and what mistakes to avoid. Now we're going to move deeper, how to use shadowing for advanced improvement and make your English sound almost native.
That's right. A lot of learners think shadowing is just copying sounds, but in reality, it's much more than that. When done right, it can help with your accent, your vocabulary, and even how fast you think in English.
Let's start with accent improvement. Many learners worry about having a strong accent, and that's totally normal. But the goal isn't to erase your accent, it's to make your speech clear, confident, and easy to understand.
Yes, everyone has an accent, even native speakers from different countries. The key is pronunciation clarity and rhythm. Shadowing helps you match the intonation and melody of English so people can understand you easily.
Exactly. For example, if you're listening to an American English podcast, you'll notice the up and down rhythm of sentences, like music. By shadowing, you naturally copy this rhythm without forcing it.
And you start to feel it, not just hear it. For example, when we say, "That sounds great," the stress naturally falls on sounds and great. Shadowing helps you feel that pattern.
That's true. You also pick up how natives use sentence stress to show emotion. I did call you sounds different from I did call you. The meaning changes based on which word is stressed.
Right. And that's something textbooks rarely teach, but shadowing makes you learn it naturally.
Another amazing benefit is vocabulary. When you shadow regularly, you start remembering whole chunks of language instead of single words.
Yes, that's one of my favorite parts. For example, instead of memorizing take and break separately, you learn natural phrases like take a break, make a decision, run out of time, and get things done.
Exactly. Those are called collocations, words that naturally go together. When you shadow authentic speech, you're not just learning vocabulary, you're learning how English is really used.
And because you're saying those phrases out loud, they stick in your memory faster. You start using them automatically when you speak.
Yes. For example, after shadowing a travel vlog, you might start saying things like, we had a blast, or it was breathtaking, instead of simple words like fun or beautiful.
That's how your English becomes more expressive. You move from textbook English to real English. Now, this is one of my favorite benefits, thinking in English. It's something every learner wants to do, but struggles with at first.
Oh yes, definitely. When you shadow often, your brain gets used to hearing and speaking English simultaneously. Over time, your thoughts begin to form in English naturally.
That's because you're creating direct connections between sound and meaning instead of translating in your head.
Exactly. I remember when I was learning French, I used shadowing daily. After a few weeks, I stopped translating in my mind. The sentences just came out.
That's what happens with English too. Shadowing rewires your brain. You stop saying, how do I say this in English, and start saying it instinctively.
And that's when you truly feel fluent. Not perfect, but fluent and confident.
Let's talk about the levels of shadowing. Not everyone starts at the same place, and that's okay.
Yes, I like to divide it into 3 stages. 1, basic shadowing. You focus on pronunciation and rhythm. You copy short phrases slowly. 2, intermediate shadowing. You keep up with the speaker while focusing on tone and sentence flow. 3, advanced shadowing. You can shadow long clips in real time, focusing on emotion, meaning, and natural delivery.
That's a great way to see progress. At first, it feels like climbing a hill, lots of effort. But once you reach level 3, it feels effortless.
And it's okay to stay in one stage for weeks. Don't rush it. Fluency is like learning an instrument. Practice builds skill.
Now, let's talk about how to choose the right material for shadowing.
Good idea. Step 1, pick something you actually enjoy. If you're bored, you won't stick with it.
Yes, motivation is everything. If you love movies, use movie dialogues. If you enjoyed TED Talks or podcasts, use those.
And don't choose something too easy or too hard. The ideal level is where you understand about 80% of what's being said. That way, it challenges you but doesn't frustrate you.
That's a great rule. Also, variety helps. Try different accents. Listen to American, British, Australian, or even Indian English. It trains your ear to understand real-world English.
Exactly. You'll realize that native English doesn't sound the same everywhere, and that's okay.
Let's discuss another question learners often ask. Should I use subtitles or transcripts while shadowing?
Yes, I hear that all the time. My answer is use them strategically.
Right. At the beginning, subtitles help you connect sound and spelling, but if you rely on them too much, you won't improve your listening.
Exactly. So here's a tip. First, listen with subtitles to understand everything. Then listen without them while shadowing. You'll notice big progress.
And if you have access to transcripts, use them to check your mistakes afterward. That's a great review technique.
Tom, I think many learners wonder, how do I know if I'm improving?
That's a great question. There are a few signs.
First, you start understanding faster. You no longer pause to catch up with the speaker.
Second, you start noticing small pronunciation details like linking sounds or intonation patterns. That means your ear is getting sharper.
And third, you feel more comfortable speaking English without overthinking. You open your mouth and words just flow out.
That's the best sign when you're no longer afraid of speaking.
Let's talk about routine. How often should learners shadow?
Ideally, every day, but even 10 to 15 minutes daily is enough. The secret is consistency, not duration.
Exactly. Short, daily sessions are better than one long session once a week.
And try to shadow at different times, morning before work, during your commute, or before bed. The more natural it feels, the more it becomes part of your life.
Yes, some learners even shadow songs or movie scenes while doing chores.
That's a fun way to stay consistent. The goal is to make English a habit, not a homework.
This is going great, Mia. We've talked about accent improvement, vocabulary, thinking in English, and routines.
Yes, and in the next part, we'll dive into how shadowing can train your emotions, how to speak with feeling and confidence, plus how to use shadowing for interviews, presentations, and real conversations.
Exactly. So stay with us. More powerful tips are coming up right after the break. You're listening to Better English Studio, helping you speak English like a native fast.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying today's discussion. So far, we've talked about how shadowing helps with accent, vocabulary, and fluency. Now it's time to talk about something just as important: emotion and expression.
Exactly. A lot of learners focus on pronunciation and grammar, but forget that how you say something is just as powerful as what you say.
Yes, native speakers don't speak flatly. They use emotion, tone, and rhythm to bring words to life. Shadowing helps you feel those emotions and express them naturally.
I love that. For example, listen to the difference between "I can't believe it" said in a flat tone versus said with surprise. "I can't believe it." The emotion changes everything.
Exactly. When you shadow, you don't just copy words, you copy the energy of the speaker. You absorb their excitement, sadness, or curiosity, and that makes your English sound real.
That's why I always tell my students, don't be afraid to act. When you're shadowing, pretend you're the person speaking. Feel what they feel.
Yes, it's like performing a role in a movie. You're training your mouth, your ears, and your emotions at the same time.
And once you get comfortable expressing feelings, your confidence skyrockets. Because language isn't just communication, it's connection.
Exactly. People don't remember perfect grammar. They remember how you made them feel.
Now, let's move from emotion to application. How can learners use shadowing to prepare for real-life conversations?
Good question. The key is to pick materials that match the situations you want to practice. For example, if you're preparing for job interviews, shadow interview clips or professional discussions.
Right, or if you're learning for travel, shadow conversations from travel vlogs, airport dialogues, or restaurant scenes.
Yes, that way you're not only improving pronunciation, but also learning what to say in those real situations.
It's like rehearsal. Just as actors practice their lines, shadowing helps you pre-practice for real conversations.
Exactly. For example, if you shadow phrases like, "Could you please help me with this?" or "That sounds wonderful, thank you," they become part of your natural speech.
That's how you avoid awkward pauses when you're actually talking to someone in English.
Yes, you don't freeze because your brain has already said those sentences before, many times.
And the more you shadow real-life dialogues, the more natural your responses become.
Tom, I know a lot of our listeners use English at work, and shadowing is fantastic for that too.
Absolutely. If you have meetings, interviews, or presentations in English, shadowing can make a huge difference in your confidence.
Right. For interviews, try shadowing mock interview videos or professional podcasts. Focus on tone, how confidently people introduce themselves, how they emphasize key points.
And also the pacing. Good speakers don't rush.
They pause at the right moments. Shadowing helps you hear that rhythm and apply it yourself.
Exactly. Let's say you're introducing yourself in an interview. I'm Mia, and I've been working in education for 5 years. Notice the calm, confident tone. Shadowing trains you to speak like that.
Yes, and for presentations, shadowing helps with energy. Great presenters sound engaged and dynamic, not robotic.
That's true. When you shadow TED Talks or business presentations, you pick up how speakers emphasize important ideas, change their tone, and use pauses effectively.
And that's how you go from reading slides to owning the stage.
Exactly. You start speaking with intention, not just reading words.
Now let's switch gears to travel and daily life. Shadowing can also make you sound natural in casual conversations, like chatting with friends or strangers.
Yes, when you shadow real dialogues from movies or YouTube vlogs, you pick up small, friendly expressions that make your English sound alive.
Like, that's awesome, no worries, or you've got to be kidding. Those natural reactions are what make your English fun and human.
Exactly. It also teaches you when to use polite expressions like, "Excuse me, could I get a coffee, please?" Or, "Have a nice day."
And not just what to say, but how to say it. Tone is everything. Excuse me, said politely, sounds friendly. Said sharply, it can sound rude.
That's such a good point. Shadowing helps you master tone without even realizing it.
Yes, and travelers especially benefit from that. You don't just speak English, you sound polite and confident wherever you go.
Tom, one of the biggest struggles English learners face is fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of being judged.
Yes, I see that all the time. Shadowing is one of the best ways to overcome that fear because it lets you practice speaking without pressure.
Exactly. You're speaking out loud, but you're not talking to someone directly. There's no audience, no stress, just you and your voice.
And over time, your confidence grows. The first time you shadow, your voice might feel strange, but after a week or two, it feels natural.
Yes, and when you finally talk to a real person, you realize, wait, I've already said these words before. I know how they sound.
Exactly. It's like muscle memory. You've trained your mouth and your brain to speak English automatically.
And that's what true confidence feels like. Not perfection, but ease.
Now, Mia, a lot of learners start strong but lose motivation after a few weeks. How can they stay consistent?
It's such an important question. The key is routine and reward. Set a realistic goal. For example, I'll shadow for 15 minutes every morning.
Yes, make it part of your daily life. Maybe right after breakfast or before bed.
Exactly. And reward yourself. After a week of consistent shadowing, treat yourself. Watch your favorite show or cook something special. It builds positive momentum.
I also suggest tracking your progress. Record your voice once a week and compare it to your earlier recordings. You'll hear how much you've improved.
Yes, that's so motivating. Sometimes improvement is slow and invisible, but recordings make it clear.
And remember, progress isn't just about pronunciation. It's also about understanding more, thinking faster, and feeling confident.
Exactly. Even 5 minutes a day counts. The goal is not perfection, it's progress.
Let's bust a few myths about shadowing.
Yes, because there are a lot. Here's the first. Shadowing is only for advanced learners.
Totally false. Anyone can do it. Even beginners can shadow short, slow audios. The key is to match your level.
Exactly. Second myth, you have to copy every single word perfectly. Not true either. It's okay if you miss a few words. Focus on rhythm and tone first.
Yes, accuracy comes later. Third myth, shadowing takes hours every day. Nope, even 10 minutes is powerful if done daily.
And one more, shadowing makes you sound unnatural. Actually, it's the opposite. It trains you to sound more natural.
I love that. It's not about imitation, it's about integration. You blend what you hear with your own style.
Exactly. You're not becoming someone else. You're becoming the best version of you in English.
Wow, that was another packed segment. We covered emotional expression, real-world use, confidence, and even myths about shadowing.
Yes, and next we'll talk about something really exciting, how to design your personal shadowing plan, choose the best materials, and track your results like a pro.
That's right. We'll give you a simple step-by-step system to turn shadowing into a daily fluency habit. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this short break.
You're listening to Better English Studio, helping you speak confidently, fluently, and naturally. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Better English Studio. I'm your host, Tom, and with me is Mia. Today, we're wrapping up our deep dive into the shadowing technique, how to use it, why it works, and how you can apply it in your daily English learning routine.
That's right. So far, we've covered what shadowing is, how it improves fluency and pronunciation, and even how it helps you sound emotionally natural. Now it's time to turn all of that into a practical system.
Exactly, because knowledge is great, but transformation only happens when you actually do it. Let's start with the first step, picking your shadowing material. Many learners make the mistake of choosing something that's too hard or too boring.
Yes, that's a big one. The best shadowing material should meet 3 simple rules. It should be clear and natural, good audio quality, clear pronunciation. It should be interesting, something you want to listen to. And it should be at your level or slightly above.
Exactly. If you're a beginner or intermediate learner, don't start with complicated TED Talks or fast TV shows. Begin with short clips, maybe from YouTube channels, English podcasts, or simple news stories.
Yes, and if you enjoy stories, try shadowing short scenes from movies or dramas. If you love motivation, shadow podcasts or speeches. The more fun it feels, the longer you'll stay consistent.
Right. And if you find a speaker whose accent you love, maybe British, American, or Australian, you can shadow that specific accent to shape your own pronunciation.
Exactly. You can even mix accents over time to develop your own clear global English voice.
Now, once you've picked your material, you need good tools. You don't need anything fancy, just your phone, headphones, and maybe a voice recorder app.
Yes, some apps let you slow down audio without changing the pitch. That's super helpful, especially at the beginning.
Totally. Apps like Youglish, Speechling, or even YouTube's playback speed feature can make shadowing much easier.
And I always recommend recording yourself, not to judge, but to compare. You'll start hearing how your rhythm and pronunciation improve over time.
Yes, and that's really motivating. You'll notice small changes, smoother sentences, better intonation, clearer sounds. Those details show real progress.
Now, this is the heart of shadowing, routine. Mia, how should our listeners set up their daily plan?
I like to keep it simple. Here's a step-by-step plan anyone can follow. Listen first, without speaking. Just understand the meaning and flow. Shadow. Play the clip and repeat along with the speaker, matching tone, rhythm, and emotion. Repeat 3 to 5 times. Each time, focus on something new, pronunciation, rhythm, or emotion. Record yourself once a week to track progress.
That's perfect. And if you want to challenge later, increase the clip length. 2 minutes, then 5, but always focus on quality, not speed.
Exactly. Consistency beats intensity. It's better to shadow for 10 minutes every day than 1 hour once a week.
Yes, fluency is built through habit, not bursts of effort. Here's something a lot of learners miss. When you shadow, you're not just learning pronunciation, you're learning the feel of English.
I love that word, feel. English has rhythm and melody just like music. Shadowing tunes your ear to those sounds.
Exactly. You start noticing where native speakers pause, stretch vowels, or emphasize words. You begin to sense when sentences sound right.
That intuition is what separates learners from fluent speakers. You start thinking in English, not translating from your native language.
Yes, and it happens naturally, no grammar charts needed. You absorb the patterns by hearing and saying them repeatedly.
That's why I call shadowing smart repetition. You're repeating with purpose, not mindlessly.
Exactly. You're internalizing real English rhythm, grammar, and emotion all at once.
Now, let's be honest. Doing the same thing every day can get boring. How can learners stay motivated?
Great question. The trick is to mix it up. Use different voices, accents, and topics. One day, shadow a news story. The next, a comedy clip or song lyric.
Yes,
Variety keeps your brain engaged. And if you find yourself losing focus, shorten your sessions. Even 5 minutes can be effective.
Exactly. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. And celebrate small wins, like understanding a native speaker without subtitles or being complimented on your accent.
Those moments are huge confidence boosters.
Yes. And remember, learning English isn't a race, it's a journey. Some days you'll sound amazing, some days not, and that's completely normal.
Consistency beats motivation every time. If you show up every day, even for 10 minutes, improvement is guaranteed.
Absolutely. And the more you practice, the more fun it becomes because you start hearing real results in your own voice.
Let's talk about tracking progress. How do learners know if their shadowing is working?
First, record yourself once a week. Compare your new recordings to old ones. You'll notice your pronunciation, fluency, and confidence improving.
Yes. And second, pay attention to your listening comprehension. If you start understanding more without subtitles, that's a sign of progress.
Exactly. And third, notice your speaking speed. If your sentences flow more smoothly, you're developing natural fluency.
And even beyond that, notice your comfort level. If speaking English feels easier even when you make mistakes, that's growth.
Yes, shadowing doesn't just improve skill, it improves comfort.
Eventually, something magical happens. You stop thinking about shadowing and you just speak.
Exactly. You'll notice that the phrases and rhythms you practice start coming out naturally in real conversations.
You won't even realize it. You'll just respond smoothly using words and intonation you once shadowed.
That's the moment you know shadowing has worked. It's become part of you.
It's like learning to ride a bike. At first, you wobble, you focus on every move, but soon you ride freely and it feels effortless.
That's exactly how English fluency feels. You stop worrying about grammar and you start communicating confidently.
Before we wrap up, let's summarize what makes shadowing such a powerful tool.
Sure, shadowing works because it combines 4 key skills: listening, speaking, pronunciation, and rhythm all at once.
Yes, it trains your ear, your mouth, and your brain together the way real communication works.
It also builds confidence by reducing fear. You practice speaking every day without pressure or judgment.
And it connects you emotionally to English. You're not just repeating sounds, you're feeling and expressing meaning.
Exactly. It's active, immersive learning, not passive listening.
All right, Mia, this has been such a powerful conversation. I think our listeners are ready to start shadowing today.
I hope so. And remember, don't wait for the perfect time or perfect English. Just start. Even if you shadow one short clip today, you're already improving.
Yes, shadowing is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Exactly. Be patient, stay curious, and enjoy the process. Your English will grow naturally.
Beautifully said. And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment telling us what you plan to shadow next.
We'd love to hear about your experiences. Tell us your favorite podcasts, videos, or speeches to shadow.
You've been listening to Better English Studio, helping you speak confidently, fluently, and naturally, one conversation at a time.
Keep practicing, keep believing, and remember, every word you speak brings you closer to fluency.
See you next time, everyone. And as always, keep speaking English and keep getting better.